Good insert time of day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel. The time has come at long last for us to conclude my adventures at ProgPower USA 2025. In this video, we'll be covering the final 6 bands of the festival, plus you'll hear my final thoughts and my thoughts on the lineup for next year, because my word, is it beautiful. With that being said, and I quote, "Let the insanity begin." This is ProgPower USA 2025, the finale. Before we get to any of the bands, I want to shout out Mike, Tess, Teresa, and David, the longtime veterans I referenced in part 1. I had a lot of fun hanging out and chatting with you guys about ProgPower's past and concerts past. If any of you are watching, I look forward to seeing you next year. It was great to meet you. Once again, my last minute gold badge allowed me to get inside a few minutes early. Actually, everyone got in a few minutes early for the last day, which was really fun as we all got to hang inside and chat before the bands came on. Speaking of bands, it's now time for the strangest band I can officially say I've ever seen live. Lux Terminus. Man, prog does not get any weirder than this. Like sometime in February, Lux Terminus is a 3-piece progressive metal group, only this time their style of prog is a bit different. As you can probably tell, there is no guitarist. It's just a keyboardist, a bassist, and a drummer, which made this a very unique performance, and I had to say, they pulled it off very well. I only caught the first 20 minutes of their set before I had to leave for a meet and greet. Yeah, I know I do this often, but don't judge me. But I can confidently say that Vikram Shankar-Keyboards did really well. Also, if you look carefully, you can see 3 of my friends in the crowd. The band I met this time was Skyline, who we'll see in just a moment, and like Ornogan the previous day, they signed my gold badge, which was really awesome. Okay, so for this next one, I only had to take a screenshot of the video. The next band up was Night Demon, the pioneers of the new wave of traditional heavy metal movement. And while I think the band is a really good band and they put on an awesome performance, the imagery behind them kind of killed it for me. I didn't really like seeing a picture of a naked woman being shackled by death whilst riding a satanic bull with bat wings being thrown into my head. I only lasted about 3 songs before I headed outside. If anyone from Night Demon is watching this, I really wanted to like the show, but the imagery kinda killed it for me. Sorry guys. I passed the time outside talking with Steven and Patrick from Ornogan along with another fan before we all headed back inside for the reunion of Saigon Kick. This was a very interesting show, as it was the only performance by the band Soto-Kick, who, as you can probably see here, are being fronted by the legendary Jeff Scott Soto, who I refuse to believe is 60 years old, because he does not look or sound it at all. But I am pleased to say they did very well. I'm a big 80s fan, so this music was right up my alley. The crowd was loud with singing, especially when they played Love Is On The Way, and my word, the vocal harmonies between Jason and Jeff were absolutely beautiful. What was also beautiful was the stage banter. Good golly, these guys were hilarious. You all think Egg Guy and Demulich have the best banter that gets the crowd going, and I have to say, nah. The jokes between Jason and Jeff had the entire building going up in laughs. It was amazing. And to keep up the trend of sitting with band members, once again, I was with the bassist and singer from Maastricht. Are you noticing a trend here? Anyway, nerding aside, this was an absolutely amazing show. I highly recommend you check out Saigon Kick, with or without Jeff, because they put on an amazing show. And I'll be the first to say it, with the cap and beard, why does the bassist look like Anders Friden from In Flames? After Saigon Kick, my friends and I made our way to the floor for the final US debut of the festival and the final shot you need to drink, Skyline. This was one of the most hyped bands for the entire festival, and it's not hard to see why, because they put on an amazing performance. And like I mentioned in the last one, this is a goth rock supergroup, so we are very much out of the norm for ProgPower. Skyline is made up of 5 Swedish and Finnish melodic death metal and black metal musicians. The lineup currently consists of Dark Tranquillity lead vocalist Mikael Stanne, Victor Brandt, who is most famous for his work with Firespawn and Entombed, Vesa Ranta from Sentenced, Santeri Kallio of Amorphous, and Markus Vanhalla of Insomnium and Omnium Gatherum. They all got together and formed a goth rock band, which is totally outside of the genres they're normally playing. Nerding aside, this was an absolutely amazing show. They only have one album out, which is really good, and I highly recommend you listen to it. And they also have a cover of I Drove All Night by Celine Dion. So, spoiler alert, that's probably the only time you'll hear a ballroom dance ever doing goth rock. Overall, an absolutely amazing performance from the band, and I highly recommend you check them out if they ever come to your neck of the woods, because I know for a fact that I will be doing the same thing. Speaking of checking them out, these guys will be performing on 70,000 Tons of Metal next year, so if any of you are going on the boat, you'll probably see Mikael a lot. After Cemetery Skyline came the actual strangest band of the festival, and one I was very interested in seeing. Skald. Man, I don't know about metal festival lineups booking interesting bands, but ProgPower shot it out of the roof with this one. For those curious, Skald is a French Nordic folk group who sing all of their songs in Norse, and it is absolutely beautiful. As a Viking myself, their music was very beautiful and very enchanting. These guys have only come to the US one other time, and it was in 2023. One of the families at my church absolutely loves this band, and it's not hard to see why. I highly recommend you check them out if they ever come to your neck of the woods. After Skald, my friends and I hung out outside, dreading our eventual goodbyes and the end of the festival, before we all headed back into the theater for the headliner of Night 4, the reigning kings of progressive power metal, New Jersey's own Symphony X. I cannot believe it has taken me almost 20 years to see this band live for the first time, and I am so glad that it paid off, because they were absolutely awesome. Their set was absolutely amazing, even opening with the first 4 songs off of the Divine Wings of Tragedy album. Now that is old school. I also refuse to believe that Russell Allen sounds as good as he does for a man pushing 60 years old. I don't know how he does it, but it's absolutely incredible, and I think I should play you a little clip before we go on.
Boy. They don't call it hot Atlanta for nothing here. Jeez. Freaking hot. Woo! First of all, before we get started, I'd like to propose a toast to the man of the hour, who for some reason thinks he's in the Weekend at Bernie's movie. He's already retired. He just needs a beach and a margarita in his hand. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a toast to Mr. Glenn Harrison. Come on now. Give me $1, man. Come on.
Like I said in the last video, man, I love power metal. Symphony X put on a wonderful performance and were an excellent choice to close off the festival. I highly recommend you check them out if they ever come to your area, and I highly recommend you give them a listen. I'd recommend starting with the album The Odyssey. And with the closing of Set the World on Fire, the Imperial March played over the PA system, and Symphony X's set was over, as was ProgPower USA 2025, and we all headed up to the after party. And after a heartfelt final goodbye, I bid my new friends farewell, and I headed home in the early morning hours of Sunday, September 7th, 2025. And with that, my time at ProgPower USA had concluded. Oh my gosh, this might have been the greatest event of my entire life. Heck, this might even top my trip to Pennsylvania in 2022. Video coming soon, I promise. The bands were incredible, the crowds were fantastic, and the tomfoolery this year went off the freaking roof. Seriously though, I'd be lying if I said this might have been the greatest time of my life, because, spoiler alert, it probably was. I have always lauded the Sweden Rock Festival as the greatest heavy metal festival of all time. Well, spoiler alert, now it has competition. A lot of competition, because this was an absolutely amazing experience. I wound up meeting over 100 people at this festival, including 30 musicians, yes really, and I made so many new friends. I can confidently say that this was an absolutely amazing experience, even though I've basically said that for the 3rd time already. And while the festival was a great time, there were a lot of behind the scenes issues that almost made it go under. Over half of the originally scheduled bands had to pull out either due to visa issues, travel issues, or some other thing. Alessandro Del Vecchio was originally supposed to play the festival with Vanhalla, but they had to cancel their performance due to one of their Vesa interviews being postponed and never rescheduled. And it wasn't just Vanhalla. 4 other bands had to pull out of the festival either due to visa issues or their country's embassy not being able to issue them visas in time. Glenn has even gone on record to say that this was the most difficult year of the festival, and it's not really hard to see why. I can definitely agree with him on that one. If I ever start a podcast, I definitely want to have Glenn on to talk ProgPower. And speaking of Glenn, if you're watching this, my good sir, like I said to you at ProgPower this year, you have outdone yourself with next year. Look at this lineup: Brainstorm, Evergrey, Nevermore, The Gathering, Crimson Glory, Conception, Elevati, Insufferum, Roy Khan, Hammerfall, Stardust. So many awesome bands, and may it be known that I might have predicted Nevermore 2 weeks before the festival even began. I cannot wait to go back next year. Yes, I've already got my ticket, and if you want to join in the ProgPower crowd, you are more than welcome to. Tickets for days 3 and 4 are already sold out, but tickets for day 2 go on sale November 21st, 2025. The announcement for day 1 sales has yet to be released. And so, in closing remarks, to Glenn, thank you for making this an amazing first music festival experience for this young metalhead. I wish you the best next year, and I wish you the best in your retirement. To all of the bands that I saw over the 3 days I was there, thank you for your absolutely amazing performances, and I will be first in line to get tickets the next time any of you come back to the United States. To all the people I met, it was absolutely amazing headbanging and singing along to all these amazing songs with you, and I look forward to when we do it next time. And last but certainly not least, to my friends, who I wound up hanging out with the entire festival. Thank you for helping me have the greatest experience of my life. I truly mean it. I love you guys, I sincerely miss you, and I look forward to when we all reunite next September at Center Stage. And heed this warning, dear viewers. The tomfoolery that we had this year, multiply it by every single number in existence for next year, because it's going to happen. And who knows, maybe one day you'll see me up on that stage. Which brings me to my next point. I am currently planning on forming my own musical project called Cloned Enigma. We will be the world's second industrial power metal band. Yes, you heard that correct. I am not currently taking auditions for this project, but if you are interested, sound off down in the comments below. And with that, my illustrious adventure comes to an end. Thank you all so very much for watching, and until we see each other again sometime soon, my name is Cal, and I will catch you trackside. Have a good night, everybody.